Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 4th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn for it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, just a quick update on the war. Iran struck a military base in northern Kuwait yesterday. And this is basically, I think this is part of their way of saying, confirming to everyone that they're not actually in any talks with the US. Apparently, it used up practically all of its stockpile of highly accurate long-range missiles. Of course, they've shot a lot of missiles, and of course, a lot of their defensive missiles as well. And Trump has set a new deadline, giving Iran until the end of today to finalize a straightforward Hormuz agreement with Oman or face devastating airstrikes. Trump says he wants to give them every last chance before decapitation. The agreement with Oman, however, would not be something that Iran wants. A senior Iranian official tells Reuters it would give Iran total sovereign authority over all inbound maritime traffic, and Oman would clear outbound vessels only after notifying Iranian officials, ensuring Iran retains visibility and the option to intervene. All right, so that's where we are on the war. In terms of where we are technically, we have broken up over this declining resistance trend line. I am expecting to see a retest of the SPX high, which I'm thinking we're probably going to see. Well, it's not going to take much of a move from the open. And don't necessarily need to retest the high on ES. Obviously, this high was set in early June. This is the, well, we will see. It's not that far away. Might well do that too. SPX is the main one I'm watching there. In terms of, we've now got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, but we don't have what I would describe as a quorum, i.e. 2 or 3 of those. We've got no current divergence on NQ, and the weak sell signal finally failed. We do have an IHS which is now broken up with a target in the 32.25 area, and I'm expecting that either to make a target or fail back to the lows. And I'll be talking about the high setup here after we see the SPX high retest. RTY, we got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. YM, we did have some divergence, but we've had a spike up, and we've made a new all-time high on YM. And no current negative divergence. DAX has retested the high. This is a pretty nice looking double top. ESTX has retested the high. Pretty nice looking double top. Nikkei has broken down from a head and shoulders and has not been looking as though it's going to actually fail the head and shoulders, which would require a move over this level here. So we've got a nice looking topping setup here. So actually, once we've got the SPX high retest done, we've actually got a far better topping setup than we had before. Looking at SOX, SOX did not make a new high yesterday. In fact, this was Friday's high, and we didn't get close to it. What does that say to me? Well, it says this could easily fail down into this head and shoulder target, which is the obvious target on the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. In terms of SPX, I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high. We almost saw that yesterday. The high yesterday was at 76.10, and the all-time high is at 76.20.90. I think we're likely to see that. Obviously, we've had a very hard break over the daily middle band, and we have made it up to the daily upper band. In terms of the 3SD upper band, I've got that currently at 676.89. I'm not expecting that to be reached. But if we did, obviously, it would be an obvious place to be reversing. In terms of the hourly chart, no current divergence. In terms of the 15-minute chart, hang on one second, don't think we've got any divergence there either. But I'm thinking that we could easily set up divergence today. We shall see how that goes. In terms of the Qs, we basically closed back on the daily middle band yesterday, marginally above it. They closed at 700.07 with the daily band at 699.88. Now, this is expressing quite how much this has not been shared. This move up has not been participated in by tech. I've already shown you the SOX setup. This is. It may be that we're going to see a break up and we're going to see a big move up, but really we've been trading sideways for months. and I'm not seeing a great deal of indication that actually tech's about to break up here. If it does, that does change the game. But at the moment, it hasn't. Hourly chart, the bicycle made target, 15-minute chart, no current divergence. In terms of Dia, Dia has gone back up and retested the high, or at least in the overnight, and is likely to retest this high at the open. That sets up a nice little level top, of course, and we shall see. On the daily chart, tiny bits of negative divergence, 15-minute chart, some negative divergence as well, or at least I think that retested that last high. In terms of Ethereum, in terms of IWM, we broke back up over the daily middle band, so if we are going to fail, the obvious time to do that would actually be today or latest tomorrow. We will see how that goes. In terms of the pattern setup here, this could be a flag, and I was showing this yesterday, and if so, this is a flag that's broken up. But there's an easy alternate read to this, which is either one, the original head and shoulders has not actually yet failed, so we could continue with that. But there's a better one too. We may well be forming an alternate head and shoulder neckline here with a alternate right shoulder forming at the moment, and that would look like this, and it would look pretty nice, and it would be a large pattern. So if we do see a fail here, we've still got the original head and shoulders, and we may get a larger one on IWM. We are setting up a potential level top on Dia. We are setting up a potential level top on SPX, and we've got a nice looking level top which is already broken down and is not currently in any trouble on the keys, and a head and shoulder on socks. So the topping setup here has improved. We've got a potential level top here on DAX. Nikkei, we've got a head and shoulders which is already broken down and doesn't appear to be in much trouble at the moment, although that could change. We could see a break up here. Why would we see a break up here? I don't know. Can't think of any obvious reason, but we will see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at the DX chart. Now, DX, we are still kicking around near the lows here. Week 6-minute bicycle is fixed and is moving very weakly towards the target. Not seeing an awful lot on the others. USD, we do have a potential alternate flag forming here. This is just one suggestion as to where that trend line might be. It wouldn't have to be here, but we will see. GBP USD maybe going back up to retest the prior high. USD JPY, we've got a 6-minute buy signal fixed after this very sharp decline from government intervention. That's getting pretty close to the possible near miss target. USD CAD, still kicking around near the recent lows, and we've got a potential level bottom here. Australian dollar could be forming a larger bear flag. NZUSD is stalled at the moment, but may well proceed up to the IHS target in the 59.63 area. Looking at bonds. Bonds, we are seeing a little bit of a rally here. We've got the week 6-minute bicycle has reached possible near miss target. YM, we've got a potential level bottom here, but I've got to say I'm not seeing much to suggest that we are facing a significant low here and are about to see a big rally. On coil, bizarrely, frankly, given the news, we have actually gone and made the target at the retest of this low here. This was the target as soon as the IHS broke up. However, in terms of this falling on imminent peace, this isn't peace. And if there's optimism about the Iranians making a deal today, well, they've not shown any signs of interest in making a deal so far. And frankly, Trump's starting to look a little pathetic and desperate. So CL has retested the low too. Could these be double bottoms? Potentially, but they're oversized. The inverse head shoulders, which broke up and fell, are far better. HO is heading down at the moment. RBOB is heading down at the moment. No particularly strong reason why either of those is heading down either. NG, I think we've got a little bear flag here, which is starting to break down. GC is still within this consolidation. I've drawn that as a rough triangle. SI, possible level bottom. Palladium and platinum, I'm still wondering about possible retest of the lows. HG, I'm wondering about a retest of this high to set up a potential level top. In terms of the Other charts, KC still looks like a bullish consolidation. SB is heading back up, and the double top is failing, and we're likely to see a retest of this high here in the 1540 area. CC, this looks like a bull flag which has broken up. The head and shoulders which had broken down has now failed. Lumber, we are proceeding down at the moment. No current positive divergence. We've got daily sell signals here now. In terms of CT, this looks like it's heading back up into the high retest, and it's almost but not quite made that. Week 6-minute sell signal isn't doing anything on wheat. I'm wondering whether this could be a bull flag, but I'm wary about continuation lower. Corn could be a bull flag that's breaking up. On soy, kind of looks like a bull flag too. Could that be forming a head and shoulders on soy? Yes. Could we be forming one on corn? Yes. Could we be forming one on wheat? Yes. Although this one would be a little oversized. On CL, bit of a rally here. Overall, this is looking like a bullish consolidation, or possibly a triangle, which would also be a bullish consolidation. Live cattle, we've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed. Haven't made the double bottom target in the T3 1.6 area. And HE, I am wondering at this point, after this IHS fell, about a retest of this low, which would be the obvious target for that. So failing at the monthly pivot at the moment, which would tend to support that. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Yeah, I think Bessen's comment was about peace in Iran, I think, if I could see it. I've got to say, Trump's statement from slightly beforehand was that basically Iran must get back to the table, which clearly they already hadn't. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I think that's an absolute red line for Iran. I don't think they're going to agree to anything which involves Iran controlling the Strait. So I think that might give us our high retest there, but I don't think it's going to last more than a day or so. They've made it absolutely crystal clear this is their complete red line. They have to control the Strait. Now, they could control the Strait, and the Americans could claim that they didn't control the Strait. That I could believe, potentially. But to be honest, no one would believe that, so I'm not sure what the point of saying that would be. So in terms of Iran actually agreeing to that, we've not seen a single indication in any way from anything that they would ever agree to that. So that just looks like, product of Trump's fertile mind. So we shall see. But really, I'm not sure even that they can launch a big attack either. One, US is falling kind of low on ammo. Two, it would potentially cause a large widening of the war with the Iranians, and they have got missiles. The Iranians attacking oil infrastructure across the Middle East. That actually could make everything an awful lot worse. And that, to be honest, is why CMD called off the attack scheduled for the weekend, because Saudi Arabia and others were saying you've got to be joking. We will see. I mean, obviously, Trump's crazy. I think he's a mad king, and at this stage, obviously, almost anything could potentially happen. But I don't think the Iranians conceding the Strait is likely to be one of those. I just don't see that at all. We shall see how it goes. But as long as that remains the case, what I would say is, if we can get the high retest on this as well as the one on Dyer, then we've actually got a really nice topping setup here, all pretty much across the board. And tech has been underperforming yesterday. The real hope for the market was that tech continued to outperform as it had on Thursday and Friday, and stopped yesterday. If it stops again today, then this is all looking exceptionally fragile. And with the Iranians unlikely to agree to anything that's currently being proposed, well, we shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.